Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And we begin tonight with a former Detroit police sergeant now accused of preying on girls and young women. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Thank you for joining us. Today, Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy announcing charges against 68-year-old Benjamin Wagner. He's accused of being a serial rapist in 5 sexual assault cases spanning years with victims as young as 15.
We are showing you Wagner's booking photo because police believe more victims could be out there. The former DPD sergeant had been living in North Carolina since his retirement in 2017. This is a photo capturing the moment Wagner was led away in handcuffs at the airport where he had been working.
Tonight, 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley is hearing from community members where these alleged crimes took place. He explains what's next in this disturbing case.
Investigators say one of the attacks happened here on 6 Mile near Marygrove back in November of 2000. The 20-year-old victim was walking to a friend's home when Wagner allegedly put a gun to her back, removed her from the scene before sexually assaulting her.
The person that we are charging today has led a double life as a law enforcement officer and a serial rapist.
68-year-old Benjamin Wagner now faces 7 counts of criminal sexual conduct and 5 counts of kidnapping. Authorities in North Carolina arrested the retired DPD sergeant at the Greenville International Airport where he works. Wagner has lived there since retiring in 2017. Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy announced the charges Thursday, decades after 5 alleged attacks on young women and teen girls ages 15 to 23 between 1999 and 2003.
The commonalities were they were walking to school or home from work or simply going to a friend's house. He was armed with a handgun in each and every case. He threatened their lives if they reported, and he did not use a condom in any of the assaults.
Detroiters Leslie Cunningham and Robert Williams both live in the area where investigators say 2 of the 5 attacks occurred.
That's our assignment, to be protectors of our women. And to hear that kind of thing, man, is really heartbreaking.
Is this unsettling?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because you don't hear nothing, and 25 years later, something pops up.
Investigators say all the attacks happened in northwest Detroit, about 5.5 miles from Wagner's home.
Going back to possibly 20 years, he does look familiar.
Scotty Jones lives on the same block Wagner once did.
It's appalling. It's scary.
Wagner joined the force in 1989 and worked in investigations, tactical service, the commercial auto theft unit, and the 10th and 2nd precincts. Kim Hurst from Avalon Healing Center, which supports rape survivors, says the revelation is devastating.
Now you're finding out that this person was in a position of authority, and in particular, a position of authority that's supposed to be protecting individuals. It's definitely traumatizing.
It's egregious. It's disturbing. Defendant Wagner's actions do not represent the integrity and the values and the mission of the officers of the Detroit Police Department.
Authorities want anyone who believes that Wagner sexually assaulted them to call the Sex Crimes Unit at 313-596-1950. I'm Randy Wimbley, 7 News Detroit.
All right, Randy, thank you. Now, Randy is your Detroit reporter. If you have a story idea for Randy, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen or send an email to randy.wimbley@wxyz.com.
All right, let's get started. All right, there's no objection. Mr. Wagner has 5 cases. I'll call them all at the same time. No objection.
No objection.
Okay.
No objection.
All right, then. Okay. The court is now calling case number 2605618901. The people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Martin Wagner. Court will also call case number 2605618701. The people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Martin Wagner. Also, case number 2605619001. The people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Martin Wagner. Case number 2605619101. the people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Martin Wagner. And lastly, case number 2605618801, the people of the state of Michigan versus Benjamin Martin Wagner. All right, appearances please.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Carly Fox on behalf of the people, P81911.
And good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Moore on behalf of the people, P84724.
Good morning, Judge. Robert Kenny, appearing on behalf of Mr. Wagner, 35842.
All right then. Good morning to all the parties. And Mr. Kenny, as to the arraignment, how does Mr. Wagner stand?
We were waiting for a reading and stand mute on all of the cases.
All right, and Mr. Wagner has been advised of his constitutional rights, Mr. Kenny?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then. All right, then. Can we have a recommendation from either Ms. Cox or Ms. Moore? Which one of you are going to, or are you going to handle them separately?
No, Your Honor. I'm going to take the lead right now on arguing bond for all 5 cases.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So as the court is well aware, under MCR 6.106B1B, the court can remand the defendant where there is flight risk and danger to the community, and when the likelihood of conviction is strong by clear and convincing evidence. Here, I'm going to argue strongly that Mr. Wagner is 100% a flight risk. He lives out of state in North Carolina. He works at an airport. He does have access to NCIC, and he has the ability to get on planes whenever he can. Danger to the community. Here, Your Honor, we're dealing with 5 cases with very, very similar motivation in all of them. In each case, former Sergeant Wagner sexually assaulted these 5 young girls and women at gunpoint. He took them into an isolated area in every single case and effectuated criminal sexual conduct upon them.
Ms. Cox, one moment. We have some background coming from somewhere. Could everybody mute their devices except the people that are talking? Court would appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Proceed. I'm sorry. I just want to be able to hear you. Okay.
It doesn't seem like Fox 2 is muted.
You said is not.
It doesn't seem like it.
Okay, but I don't know.
You don't think
I
the
don't know if
CJ's...
that's where the noise is coming from. So, okay, let me know if, I can't hear. Go ahead, Ms. Cox.
Great, and I'm just adjusting my volume right now too, just in case there's some sort of issue on my end. But here, Your Honor, I'll start. We are dealing with 5 separate cases between 1999 and 2003. Although these cases took place some time ago, the facts and circumstances of them are extremely disturbing and egregious. At this time, the defendant was working as a police sergeant with the Detroit Police Department. He would take these young women and girls to different areas in the city after just taking them off the street at gunpoint and sexually assaulting them. He used a gun in every single case, and he does have weapons that are registered to him at this time. So, Your Honor, I believe that in this case, remand is extremely appropriate.
All right, thank you. And Mr. King, your response, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, give me just a second here. Okay, Mr. Wagner, first of all, he was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. He's a graduate from Henry Ford High School here in Detroit. He also graduated from the Western Michigan University. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Major Criminal Justice. He worked as a police officer from 1989 to 2017. He currently works for the American Airlines, and he has been working for them for 8 years. He's been married for 8 years to his wife. I don't want to mention her name, but they got married. He has a daughter. He has a brother, and that brother lives in the area. And he doesn't have any prior record. I know that there was a case that he had that he was found not guilty of. That didn't have anything to do with his employment as a police officer, and actually he retired several years later. These cases are at least 20 years old. I understand that the DNA situation, it's interesting. It doesn't really show exactly how they reached out to Mr. Wagner with respect to the DNA. When we found out that they were looking for buckle swab from Mr. Wagner, there was no running. He acknowledged and said, okay, come get a buckle swab. At that point, when they said that it would be like 6 weeks or something before they knew whether or not they were going to charge him, he came to Detroit. And we talked at that particular time. I reached out to Detective Moore. Detective Moore indicated to me that there was no problem with him turning himself in. I was ready to turn him in, so he wasn't running in, even though he wasn't allowed to do that. That was for reasons that it's within the prosecution's purview. And that doesn't mean that he's running or that he's a flight risk. He's done everything he could to cooperate and at the same time ensure his own constitutional rights. With all of that, I do think that he deserves a bond. If he was to get a bond, I understand that he does live in North Carolina, so tethered. It's not something that we would be opposed to. But he would be living, and I could give you the address and who he would be living with. I don't want to do that in open court. But it's a relative, and it's here in the Detroit area. So we would be asking for a bond right now.
All right. Does that conclude your argument, Mr. Kenny?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then. Anything further from the people?
I would just note that if the court does not remand Mr. Wagner, I would ask that he cannot leave the state of Michigan and he needs to relinquish any and all weapons and have a GPS tether.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Okay, the court has had an opportunity to review the investigators' reports on all 5 cases. What's certainly concerning for the court, even though it's been quite some time, when these allegations arose, it appears that there was a similar MO, or they arose under similar circumstances in which most of the young ladies were surprised, approached, either going to AutoZone, going to the store, getting off the bus, from school, just different factors that indicate there was some intent to accost these women, and they were accosted at gunpoint. All of the charges indicate that. And sexually assaulted. Some of the files reflect multiple counts of criminal sexual conduct, and others maybe only one. I believe all of them indicate that there were kidnapping charges. Mr. Wagner, what the court has to do, the court has to look at 2 things: whether or not you pose flight risks, or whether or not you pose a danger to the community. Now, because the complaints were signed today, is not to say that he was avoiding prosecution. According to Mr. Kenny, once Mr. Wagner was made aware that the Detroit Police Department has some concerns about this case that he did in fact present himself for buckle swab. He reached out to counsel and he presented himself in Detroit, but ultimately, I guess, ended up back in North Carolina and was arrested prior to counsel having an opportunity to turn himself in. It does appear that he is a high school graduate, received a degree, worked for the police department for quite some time, worked for the airlines, married, a number of things to his credit. However, the court also has to look at whether or not he poses a danger to the community. And based upon the allegations that have been presented in all 5 cases, albeit the charges all reflect life offenses as the potential sentence in this matter. So that's one thing that's concerning for the court. The fact the weapon was used, the fact that we have kidnapping charges and criminal sexual conduct charges, both of which fall under MCR 6.106. And the court, after reviewing all of the evidence, does find that the presumption of guilt is great based upon the connection with the DNA testing and the other facts that have been noted. In the court will order that Mr. Wagner be remanded to the county jail. All right, so he has the same court date. Mr. Wagner, sir, you have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for April the 7th, and that's going to be before Judge Jacquet. That will be by Zoom at 8:30. And then, sir, you have the right to a preliminary examination, which is scheduled for April the 14th. That's also before Judge Jacquet. However, that will be in person, right here in the 36th District Court at 8:30. Mr. Wagner, sir, do you understand your next court dates?
Yes, I do. I understand it, Judge.
Okay. All right, then. Anything further from the people in this matter?
Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Kenny?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, then that concludes this matter. Thank everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
One for Rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6, and I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.
Broken clock on the back wall, counting down till the last bell rings. You lock the door with the plastic smile, say this is just our little secret thing. Ink stains on my test paper, your hand leaning where it shouldn't be. You twist the rules like a gold ring, say it's love, say it's meant to be. Leave the kids alone. Kids